guys, we are going to be looking at what I plan to read in April. Now, this is a very, very ambitious TBR, and we're not even talking about any of the ebooks or audiobooks that I want to read. This is literally just a physical TBR. So, first ones I want to talk about are the library books that I've got out on hold at the moment. I do still have one more, but I'm currently reading that and I'm hoping to finish it tomorrow, but we shall see if that ends up happening. But essentially these are all vampire books. So I have got Youngblood from my last TBR. I wasn't able to get around to this one, which was a bit of a shame, but it's going to be high priority on my library reading list. Then these two I recently got. This is a sequel to The Reluctant Vampire Queen, which I read I think last year. I completely forgot there was a sequel coming out for this, so I was more than happy to immediately pick it up when I saw it in the library. This is a middle grade teen. I can't remember what age group it is, but I am looking forward to this, and it will probably be a very quick read because it hasn't got very small font, and also the last time I actually sped through the other book, so we shall see if I get to that. And then the final vampire, I think this is the final vampire one, but this is a new release for this year, and this is A Tempest of Tea. I have seen a few people pick this up, really enjoy it. I've heard a lot of people talking about it, and it was something I put on my TBR from last year when it was talking about like releases to come out, and I don't know, because I may be taking this on holiday with me, because for some reason Scotland seems like a good place to actually start reading it. And I have to say, like, it sounds interesting, and the thing is, I've been wanting to read her other books, which is like The Hunt and the Flame and We Free the Stars. And can I just say, like, this book comes with a map. Not many books actually come with maps now, and that really kind of sparked even more interest. Then we have this is kind of sort of like a secondary library haul, but this is more so station library and books that I've gotten from said library, but I bought them. So the one I bought was The Stolen Child, and this one, it was one I wanted to pick up almost every time I saw it at the library, but I just never felt like it seemed like the right time to pick it up. And we're going into spring, and I think this deals with like changelings, which I think is kind of like a good thing going into spring because of all the fairy nonsense it comes with. So this is actually going to be kind of like a hard book because it deals with a child being replaced by a changeling, and I think he's trying to find his way back. I'm not entirely can't fully remember. Yeah. 7-year-old Henry Day is kidnapped by fairy changelings living in the dark forest near his home. Ageless beings whose secret community is threatened by the encroaching modern life. I mean, I can understand why. We are literally taking half their territory. So. Yeah. So they give Henry a new name and the gift of agelessness. So he's actually not ageless, he's been kidnapped. I was going to go down when he tries to escape and try and find his parents. So these ones I got from the station library. The first one I want to talk about is The Philosopher and the Wolf. This one, I think, it's not really fantasy. It's non-fiction where basically this author, he charts the relationship between a wolf and a philosopher, if you couldn't tell by the title. I don't know much else about this book. It may take me a while to read because obviously non-fictions do take me a while to actually get through, which is annoying, but hopefully this has enough gripping story for me to actually finish this. I will be returning this to the station library after I've read it, because with these books, like, I want other people to get, I don't want to always keep them. I do want to like pass them on to other people, and that's one of the few things I like about station libraries. You can leave books there anonymously and you don't have to worry about it. Then I have Dark Goddess. I am not going to pronounce who this is by, and if you couldn't tell, it has got a library cover. This apparently came from the Burntwood School Library, so if they want their book back, they can just ask, I'll hand it back to them. But it does say it was discharged, so I don't know if they do want it back. But yeah, this seems like sort of what I would have picked up as a teen, because there are a few books I still do own and enjoy that I read as a teen and still kind of enjoy today. Apparently it follows a knight named Billy, and he meets a girl named Felicia. She is an avatar with an uncontrollable force, and it's not just werewolves that apparently want her. It's this dark goddess person. Now, I can't remember if this was the... I think this might be the second book. I can't remember, but I will go try and find the first book if this is the second book. And if not, I'll read that, and then this may be in... what's after April? May. So, we'll see about that one. I then have Auggie Me. This is another middle grade novel, and this follows 3 stories within the world of Wonder. I think we're following Julian, Christopher and Charlotte, which were 3 characters in Wonder. Julian has always felt uncomfortable around Auggie, but a summer spent with his grandmother in Paris makes Julian see Auggie with new eyes. So maybe this is like a little bit of redemption for Julian, especially after what he did in Wonder. Christopher is Auggie's oldest friend and knows better than most that being part of Auggie's life comes with its challenges. And then Charlotte has always been nice to Auggie, but in a year torn loyalties and damaged feelings, is being nice actually enough? A lot of the time, no, but we shall see if what actually occurs. And then the final book, I was actually pretty surprised to find this at my station library, and even more surprised it actually came with a bookmark. Well, not really a bookmark, it came with a post-it note. Oh, was it a post-it note or was it a receipt? Let me just get it. No, it was a post-it note, so someone was reading this and they left the post-it note in it, and I guess forgot they were reading it and they got rid of it, which is a shame. I have seen someone, they said they wanted to do a challenge, I can't remember who it was, but they wanted to do a challenge where they, I think, went to a charity store and they picked up books that actually had bookmarks in it, or they'd go to a library and it has bookmarks. Basically, they were going to get these books and then finish them where they left off. Now, if I tried doing that from where it is in the book, I probably wouldn't know what the hell was going on. So I do plan on reading this from start to finish, and I know this book has actually been on my radar for a good while, and I know there's a sequel to it. Some people really like the sequel, some do not, and yeah, even this one comes with a map, which is really cool. I have to say this, like, if you put maps in your fantasy books, I will probably like it even more, because then I can refer to the map and actually see where these characters are going. So yeah, and then we've actually got 3 books which kind of like they are my own physical books, and these ones are meant to help fill in some prompts that I had for this year. So for the buzzword readathon, the buzzword is nature. It has to be nature themed. So I am picking Pine by Francine Toon. This one I got from, I think it was a charity store. And I can actually get the audiobook from my Libby library. So I don't know if I'll be taking this physically with me when I go to Scotland next week, or if I'll just listen to the audiobook while I'm in Scotland. We shall see. Because I do kind of want to physically read it while listening to the audiobook, see if I get a really good experience with it. Then I saw someone was doing a readathon during the end of April. I think it takes place between the 22nd and the 28th of July. And apparently the buddy read for that readathon is Half a Soul. This is the book I've been wanting to get to, and it also deals with Fae, as in, you know, fairy. And I've been putting this off for so long that I think it's about time I picked it up for April, and I think maybe it being a buddy read for a readathon will help with that. And on the topic of even more Fae-related books, I have Fae Child. This is for a prompt on a book card, which one of the books is to read a book that starts with the same letter as your name. And this one kind of fit the bill. It turns out this is actually part of a series, and I was actually going to put this on my 24 books in 2024. And I can't remember why I picked it up. I think it was because of the series, but then at the same time I kept other books that were part of the series on that book, So yeah, and this is actually a relatively quick book, which is quite nice, and the writing's not that small. Will I actually pick up the rest of the series? We'll see how I feel when I actually finish reading it. But also, I might not have enough room to buy the other books. But I know my libraries do not have any of the books for this series, which is a bit of a shame. So it might be a bit few far in between by the time I get round to maybe getting the other, I think it's 3 books. I think it was a part of a trilogy. Yeah. Book 1 of the Fae Child trilogy. They didn't give it any other exciting name, and I'm glad of that, because I can never remember if certain series when they have certain names. So yeah, so we have, let's see, let's count how many physical books, if I can remember off the top of my head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I just heard now, 9, 10, 11. We have 11 physical books for the month of April. Am I going to get through all of these? Probably not. If I'm being honest, especially if I want to include some of the ebooks I want to borrow. Well, not really borrow, but basically finish on my Kindle. I know I've got 2 other vampire novels, as would have it, on there. That is part of a series that I want to complete. And then I think I'm going to have maybe 1 other book, or maybe 2 that I want to finish with that. But yeah, that is my physical TBR for the month of April. I'm going to put this down now before I drop it and before I hurt myself even more. Thank you for watching, guys. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. And I'm going to get back to reading because, like I said, I've got a library book that I want to finish by tomorrow, and if I don't actually sit down and read it, that goal is probably going to go out the window. Bye, guys.